So, okay. So for those of you following along, the next step is like before. So we did everything in the console, and we still can. Like we can still do like let a equal one, and we can still look at a. You know, we can do all the same things we did before, but now we're on our own website. Um, but now to do rather than doing things in the console where you can only do things one at a time, let's put the actual code inside the game. So it's not just like something we do, you know, manually. It's great. The console's great for learning, but now we actually need to build our game. Let's see. Also trying to keep an eye on. Okay, nothing here. Sorry, I think that's the only computer. Yeah, I have that Discord connected to, so we just got to keep an eye on that. Okay. Yep, cool. So, okay, so I didn't quite get that workflow, the Control Shift O, but my workflow, I went from, let's see, what did I do? I went to sources, that's what it said initially, and so Paige had it, and then what I did, I go to file system, and then you wanted to do click add folder to workspace. So you need to have a folder to add in the first place, so that's why we had to create a folder on our desktop, and then inside that folder, we just have one file called game.html. And if I open that up with oh wow, I don't I'll go here, go more apps, like Notepad. You can see that that's there. So like if we were using a normal text editor, we would have done it in here. Uh I'll just to show what I'm talking about. I'll edit it in a text editor, click Control Save. That's what I say that's save. And I'll go ahead and exit out. And I'll go ahead and refresh the page. So there we go. So it changed, right? Okay. So just just to show you guys. So you need to have a folder, and then you have to create an HTML file, and that is HTML file. Like the extension HTML creates a web page. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and that's what the fancy. There's always a fancy name. Got to be a fancy name. That's the fancy name uh for the web or like internet stuff. Okay. So now then, rather than using the console, you write another special tag. It's called a script. Oops, I have to open up a tag. Close it. And just like that, now we can do that same stuff, but you can do it here. Let a equal 1, just to show you guys. I'll go ahead and refresh. And then on the console, since a is already defined, I should be able to just do this. There we go. So a is already defined. An even cooler thing uh, is there is the console. So I can say console.log a. So the console is that. That's the console. So you can actually put stuff on the console without having to use the console. So I'll just go ahead and save. I'll refresh again. I'll go to my console. And my console already has one logged. And just to show you guys in a little bit of a different light, I'll also console log something even just random, like, hey. Okay. Refresh. And there we go. So, yeah, you can console log whatever you want. It's up to you. So now we are going to do some actual game programming. So this is weird. I'm very used to like switching back and forth from my text editor to my browser. It's gonna take me a little bit of getting used to just stay in my browser. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of the stuff. So a lot of the stuff we had before, well, we don't need that. I'm going to go ahead and redo it. So I'm going to redo that same game. I'm going to go through it a little bit quicker because the last video goes over all the steps. So I might not even excuse me. I might not talk it through as much. But here we go. Yeah, so and I'm going to take shortcuts too. I'm not going to say player X position. I'm just going to say X because I'm, you know, x equals. So I'll do this. Let X, let Y. Let's say X equals 0. y equals 0, function update. So I'll go a little bit incrementally still though, just because this is a new thing. Um, oh, and actually another thing I do want to mention is that notice these indents, these tabs. Um, so generally speaking, when we code, every single time you open up a new body of code, you um, you want to do a tab. It just helps readability, right? It says like I can tell that okay, everything in this script, like I can get a good view. Like okay, like let's say this was like 10 scroll screens. I wouldn't know where it was, but the tabs help you identify where things are and what's inside of what. Um anyway, let's see. You know, hang on. I want to open up my old desktop. Okay, here's our old thing. So the next thing is to local website instead of remote, or I don't know, website from internet. Okay, that's our next thing. That's what we're working on. So where was I? Yeah. So yeah, and the other thing I was saying before too, those like I said that the white space, so spaces, tabs, new lines, it doesn't matter in code. It's all ignored by the computer anyway. It's only there for our visual readability. So just remember that whenever you have a new block of JavaScript to add an indent, and I think that the text editor will probably do that for you. So it's like the text editor is enforcing good habits. Like watch, if I press enter, yeah, see that? Do you see my cursor? It's already indented. So that's good. Okay. So I'm going to recreate that update function, which I believe was just x plus. I think we did. No, I won't use syntax sugar. I'll say x equals x plus 1, y equals y plus 1. And I actually think x was x plus 2. So he'll move twice as fast horizontally than vertically, our little character. And by the way, right now there is no DOM character. Or there's nothing on the DOM. Right now, this is just the data behind the game. We actually haven't connected it with the DOM yet. So, let's see. Just to kind of like show you. There's I thought I defined X. One. Okay. I think it's just a little out of date. Okay, so X. There we go. So X is 0. So I'll go ahead and call update. Oh, and again, I should have used my semicolon. Just good practice. Getting a little lazy. And then I'll go ahead and say X again. So X is 4. That's right. I called update twice. So update. Now I can look at X again. Should be 6. So we can see that the update, the update is happening. We don't have anything visual to represent that data yet. And that's actually a theme I want to bring up, is that games aren't are actually simulations that are represented by numbers. That's still pretty hot. It's like a good temp though, you know what I mean? So yeah, so games are actually behind the scenes, it's all numbers. Like even when there's a projectile that hits an enemy, that enemy has a hitbox, and that hitbox is actually some shape represented by numbers. And the projectile is also a shape represented by numbers, and when those numbers are in a region where they are intersecting, then that is considered a collision. And that is this is when you build a game from scratch, you get to do that. You actually get to see that stuff, so that when you use an actual game engine like Unity or Unreal, or anything like Game Maker, etc., you kind of know what's going on behind the scene. Like, okay, there's data representing this stuff. So good to know. Like there's the data, then there's the visualness. Like I guess that's like the rendering. There's like the math and the rendering. They're actually completely separate. Like you could like play a game just with the numbers, but the issue is there's so many numbers that you need a visual to see it. Anyway, let's see. Maybe for like a simple game, you could use just numbers, like tic-tac-toe or something. Okay, sources. I have to get used to this. I wonder if there's a way to switch. Oh, okay. I wonder if, let's see, Control Shift I. Let's see, is there, I kind of want a shortcut for switching between these two things. Let's see. Let's see. Control Shift J. So let's see if I Control Shift J. Oh, nope, that closed it. Okay. I tried switching tabs with Control Tab, but that switched my actual tab. Chrome Developer Tools, switch tabs, shortcut. Come on, baby. Control Shift P. Not quite. Not quite what I was looking for. Okay, well I can at least do that. Yeah, okay. So I don't quite got it. You know what I can do too? I think you can sometimes you can like open up the console. Let's see. Let's see if I can figure this out. Oh, settings. Hmm. Oh, really? Yes, please. I like code folding. Code folding is nice. Actually, no. You know what? No, I'm not going to use it for beginner purposes. It just allows you to like fold your code up so you don't have to look at it. um, console. Hmm. I feel like my Chrome has the ability to open the console like as a separate thing. No. Oh, here we go. Show console drawer. Yeah. Okay. So we're learning as we go. So okay. So this is cool. Like I like this setup. This is like we've got the whole trifecto: the sources, the console, and the actual thing. This is like a game engine. You know what I mean? Okay. Um,